Hi there, Kurt Steinke here. We're standing in a field of sugar beets here this afternoon. You know, we're sitting about 8 to 9 weeks from harvest, and the question at the start of the season that we always try to get an answer mid and late season is, did I hit the right end rate? So, sugar beet management has changed extensively over the last 1 to 2 decades. You start looking at climate variability, both in the spring and late summer. You look at some of those wet and dry springs that we've had in combination with some of those very wet and dry Augusts that we've had, and that can really impact overall tonnage and sugar production. So climate variability is one of the biggest issues that we now deal with. Another issue that we deal with is soils are staying warmer for a longer period of time. When you look at soil temperatures in October and November, quite often soil temperatures do not drop below 50 degrees Fahrenheit until sometime in the first or second week in November. And the third big change that we've dealt with over the last 2 decades is the double in tonnage. All right, tonnage has increased about twofold from where it was about 20 years ago. How does this impact the correct end rate, and how does this impact how you choose that end rate going forward is something that we'll discuss here today. So here you can see an example of 7 rates of N going in incremental order from left to right. We have 0 pounds of N to the acre all the way over to 240 pounds of N to the acre. So with the first beet you see on the left, this is our check plot. This is what we get when we do not fertilize sugar beets. The second beet from the left is 40 units of N in a 2x2 applied at planting. One of the biggest differences that we notice is, look at that taproot. We start to see that taproot formation with that 2x2 applied fertilizer. The third beet from the left, that is our 40 units of N in a 2x2 and 40 units Coulter inject side dress at 2 to 4 leaf. We don't see much change in tonnage at this point in time, but we do see a little bit of a change in overall biomass production. That beet in the very center, the fourth one from the left, is 120 units of N, 40 in a 2x2, and 80 units Coulter inject side dress at that 2 to 4 leaf stage. Again, we don't see a huge change in that below ground plant development and a slight change in above ground plant development at that end rate. The fifth beet from the left is that 160 units of N, 40 units of N in a 2x2, 120 units of N applied side dress, Coulter inject 2 to 4 leaf. And what do we notice there? That is usually about that end rate where we start to see that beet during this time of year really start to bulk out below ground, and we see that biomass production above ground. When we go beyond that rate, the last 2 beets on the far right, we have 200 units of N and 240 units of N. Both have 40 units of N applied 2x2 at plant, and then either 160 units of N applied side dress at 2 to 4 leaf or 200 units of N applied side dress 2 to 4 leaf. There again, we see a little bit of an increase in below ground tonnage, and we tend to see a lot more biomass production this time of the year. We'll have to stay tuned to see where that optimal end rate was for the year 2020.